and he joins us on the Harbor One hotline this morning. Hey, Ty.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
What did you think of What did you think of the Sensei artist rendition of Santa Law, Santa Ty that appeared after you were on?
Hey, man, loved it, man. I mean, that whoever does those is awesome. I need them. I got to come up with something every week, man. I got to get a collage and put in my house, man. That is awesome. I love it. I got to put those down in the man cave, Wiggy.
I hear that one, man. They pretty dope.
So, Ty, this report this morning about a rookie, Jack Jones, talking back to Bill in a team meeting is somewhat shocking. Wiggy's been talking about it all morning. I'm sure it's something that you did not experience here when it comes to the respect given to Bill Belichick.
I mean, talk back to him how? I mean, I have not heard the stories, guys. I mean, so fill me in first. What do you say? What happened?
So,
tell me the scoop.
So he apparently either missed and or was late for some rehab appointments. Bill had an issue with that and felt the need to address it in a team meeting. And there was obviously some pushback from the player with regard to his suspension and to Bill discussing it, I guess, team meeting-wise.
Wow. Well, I mean, you never know what is going to happen when Coach Belichick comes into the meeting room, because it's just like the lowlights, Wiggy. You know what I mean? You never know who's going to show up on the screen. And when he gets into his mood and he want to call you out in front of the team, you know, he's going to do it. Now, if you've been late for whatever it is, practice, in the training room, they're going to take your money and he's going to call you out. Now, if you have the balls to talk back to the coach as a young guy like that can get you fired. You know what I mean? Because he can make an example out of you then too. But it also depends on, now let me talk about from a player's perspective, because I've got into it, you know, with coaches of myself, you know, and it wasn't, as far as the discipline and talking to me or coaching me, it was talking, you know, at me in a disrespectful way, because at the end of the day, some coaches, as you know, again, I'm not saying Coach Belichick.
Right.
Now, this is not Coach Belichick at all, but it's some coaches, you know, forget that we are grown men in the NFL too, and, you know, just talk to somebody with respect. So I can't see Coach Belichick doing anything disrespectful. He might have been a little bit embarrassed, but it happens all the time. Players and coaches get into it with each other. And like I said, it depends on your tone, whether, you know, being a grown man. Oh, I'm going to jump back in your ass too. Who you think you're talking to? So it all depends on the tone. So I'm not just saying it's Coach Belichick, but Jack Jones or whoever Jones it was. There's a lot of Jones on that team. A lot of Jones. But you got to take it, eat it, because we all have, when Coach Belichick comes into the meeting room, whether it's the low lights, he's going to put you up there. He'll sing you out big time. A lot of times it's funny. It's like comedy show to me, Wick. You know what I mean? But like I said, as long as you don't come across disrespectful, even Coach Belichick, Coach Parcells, you know, sometimes coach is going to have some lip to him. So if you want to embarrass you in the room, you know, you got to bite back sometimes. That's just what it is. But, I mean, they'll get over it by tomorrow.
So do you feel like Coach Belichick's coaching style has become ineffective with today's player?
You know what? I will say today's player has a little more swag to him, I guess. Wiggy, you know, they can go out there and say their own piece through the social media, and you know, they can get their version out. A lot of guys are getting paid so much money to where they don't care. So I think, you know, the level of respect may be you're going to respect your coach, but the levels of respect may not be there as much. And I think a lot of that is due to, you know, when a player is out there making, you know, $20 million bucks. I mean, great for the players, but and then you got a coach, you know, that might be making $2-3 million bucks for as assistant coach. There is a different type of hierarchy there. Now, Coach Belichick is sitting in the world by himself as the head coach. There's only 32 of those, but I see a lot, and I'm talking about I see a lot of coaches that say things to people or players that feel like because they are making the type of money that they're making that they're untouchable. And I think that has to change because the coach is always the coach. You always have to respect them. But players making the type of money that they're making right now, Wiggy, they don't give a damn. I mean, let's call it what it is.
Ty, when you guys won those 3 Super Bowls, wouldn't you say that the players were really the biggest disciplinarians? That obviously Bill created a culture. He was the one that was in charge. But
let me stop you right there. Bill ain't built a damn thing in that locker room. It was the players that built the culture. So I just wanted to make that right. Wiggy, could you back me up on that?
Yeah,
please?
you're right. You're right.
All right, thank you. Ain't no Belichick. I keep telling people that, and that like Belichick is the GOAT, the greatest coach. We done seen all that good stuff, but as far as the locker room, the players have to police themselves, and you have to have the players police the locker room. It's been times where we tell the coaches don't come in the locker room, players only, because this is what we got to talk about. You know what I mean? So players create the culture. So I just want to make that clear.
No, that's makes perfect sense. I've never been in a playoff locker room, although Rivers, who went 4-4 my senior year of high school, was pretty impressive. But you guys, that culture that you created is based upon the work ethic of the best players. And I think the biggest issue for the Patriots recently has been that their most important player hasn't bought in. Would you agree with that sort of take?
I wouldn't say that because it doesn't take, one player. It takes a number of players because one player, even though he knows and understands the culture, it can step out of that for whatever reason, and guys can bring them back in. I don't think anyone there has that type of leadership. I know you might be referring to Mac Jones, their main player, but He just got there his damn self. So he doesn't understand the culture right now. How many guys are in that locker room that's going to pull him to the side and say, this is how we do it? Who has that type of name, that type of respect, and that willingness to go and talk to Mac and say, listen here.
Well,
Devin,
so, I mean,
it is a culture change.
Don't Devin McCourty and or Matthew Slater have it?
Yes, they have it, but are they the type of guys to go in and say, hey, this is how we get down. This is what we're doing. When have you ever heard of anything, negative not saying negative or demanding or anything coming out of Devin McCourty or Matthew Slater, as much respect as they have for who they are? When have they ever been the vocal guys to go in and, hey, if it got to get a little physical, you tell me which one is going to do that?
Right.
None of them. And I've said that, for a long time. Yes, they've been there. They've been through the fire. Yes, they, have, 3 Super Bowl rings, been in those championship runs. But the vocal lies, where's the Teddy Bruschies? You know what I mean? Where is the Vrabels, the Seymours, the Willie McGinnises? Where are those type of, guys that had to say, okay, this is what we going to do. You got to get on or some hell going to pop off.
Right. And Ty,
don't have those guys.
And Ty, I think that's the difference. I think, we talk about Bill having to change because the players have changed. But I think, and I want to know what you think about this, I think nowadays the players have changed, where the players that are in locker rooms, they don't want to get in the mud with their teammates when they got to get in there and snatch somebody up by the back of the neck and be like, yo, this is how we do things around here, because maybe they feel like some of these younger players, when you snatch them up, they instantly going on the defensive, and then it turns into maybe more of a detriment than a help, because before you know it, now you're coming to blows in the locker room. Where do you stand on maybe just the way that the whole mindset of the players today stands?
You know what, Wiggy, I think and it goes back to the first question, is like, no one's in there to police it in the beginning. They don't have that type of experience. You're leaning on a guy in the quarterback, which is the position, to say who's going to step up, but no one's willing to get, dirty. It's kind of like, now, like when I grew up, we got whippings. You got your ass whipped. You go out and get a switch. Now, you can't even do that to your own kids because they're going to call the police and you're going to go to jail. You know what I mean? Like hey, you go in the locker room now, and now next thing you know, he said, she said, so they beat you to the punch on social media, so you let everybody, you go out there and say something, they build their own story. The social media is the death of a lot of stuff that was the foundation of football, the stuff that's kept private. You can't keep it private now. Like back in the day, you go in and it's been a lot of tussles, but you never heard about it. And there's been some bloody ones, but you never heard about it. Now you can't do that because, lawsuits, social media, TikTok, and the culture, for whatever reason, not the same. The culture is not in the locker room. The Patriot way, that was us in the locker room. We let you know what we wanted to let you know. Nowadays, these guys, you mess with me, I'm gonna go tell my fans myself. I'm gonna share this with such and such. Or they gonna tell this person, they gonna put it on social media, and next thing you know, okay, here comes a lot of speculation. Here comes a distraction that has nothing to do with what happened at hand or football and moving forward. So, it's just a different culture all the way around. And I'm glad I wasn't a part of that. I mean, you have your benefits, don't get me wrong, that you can go out there and like all the NIL stuff with college and, you get a lot of followers, you get people to
good.
Buy into you. That money good.
That money real good. I would have liked to have been a part of it.
Guess what? It's very good, and it might have saved you a couple ass whippings in the locker room too, because we fought back then for better or worse. But guess what? We friends at the end of the day, and we're gonna go have a beer. It's just a different way of doing things now.
But Ty, if the players are making the locker room what it is, what does Bill do at the end of this season? He's looking at the locker room. He's looking at his coaching staff. How does he fix that? Because from the outside looking in, it looks like Mac yelling back at coaches, arguing with coaches, not buying into a system has dwindled down into the rest of the team.
You know what? I would say this about Mac Jones. You got to understand that, as a fiery guy, they know what he got. I kind of like it now. Like I said, you're never supposed to be insubordinate to a coach. I understand Coach Belichick is here, but if you have something to say, you got to be man enough to say it. But you got to think about the instability of Mac Jones coming from Josh McDaniels having a pretty damn good rookie year to a situation where it's no offensive coordinator. So, he had to take a step back a little bit. He didn't get that jump. So let's not put it all on Mac Jones. He might be frustrated in the sense where it's like, hell, I got two offensive coordinators who I listen to. Neither one of these guys are Josh McDaniels. Like, I'm trying to get better. But you're the quarterback. You got to be smart enough. It's cameras everywhere to where, like, you can't pick your nose or someone's going to take it out of context. You know what I mean? So, Matt Coco, he's the quarterback, but I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is somebody in there willing to step up and be a vocal leader. And if you are a vocal leader, you can't be just one of those guys on the end of the bench that get in just on kickoff that everyone's going to listen to. It has to be somebody that they respect, that you come to work and put it in every day. And I think that's what they're missing. You're talking about Devin McCourty, Matthew Slater. They're a little long in the tooth. And look, Matthew Slater, I think one of the greatest Patriots that ever do it. And he can run. But did you see that kickoff? That's when you know you're getting old, when Matthew Slater can't run you down. He looked like me running out there on that kickoff chasing that boy.
Knowing Bill as you know Bill, Ty Law, is Matt Patricia calling plays next season for this football team?
Hell to the no. No. He got to go in there and get an offensive coordinator from somewhere, and you got to talk about the development of your quarterback. As good as Matt Patricia is, and the guys love him, he's more of a defensive guy. He got an opportunity to be a head coach because he was a defensive guy. So, no, you're not going to get the team and the development out of your quarterback until you get an offensive coordinator who knows how this man plays. You know how this man thinks. That is how you're going to do it. And I can't see them going and saying, Matt Patricia, great job. Let's do it again. It was too conservative, wasn't very creative, actually boring to watch. And I like Matt. I like on defense, he had them boys ready. But on offense, they didn't have them ready to go like that. And they need a couple more pieces, too. So you can have, you got to get some more talent out there as well. So let's put that out there. It's time to spend some damn money, Patriots. Mr. Kraft, Bill Belichick, open up the checkbook a little bit. I ain't saying back up the Brinks truck because we know they ain't going to do that. So it's like, they put it in reverse. That shit automatically go in park. but you can still open up the door and put a little something in it.
We had to dump out of that. If you're streaming, then you got to enjoy that. But I
don't think there's a reverse on that Prince truck.
Yeah, you ain't lying. You know, I ain't put back them the brake trucks. That thing,
it don't have reverse.
Wiggy, you need to hire Ben Affleck from the town.
It got two parks.
Right. Ty, now we know Bill runs his organization like the mafia. And we've been talking about Bill going and potentially getting, let's take Billy O'Brien out of it, going out and getting a guy like Cliff Kingsbury. Can you see Bill going outside and getting a guy, or is it somebody, but we've always seen Bill, that has to prove they're trustworthy, who has come up in his system?
I mean, at this point in his career, to get a win and take a load off of himself, I can see that. But what head coach that's going to come and say, I'm going to be an offensive coordinator under Bill Belichick and his ways and how he goes about things? You know, from what I hear from other places, Wiggy, it's a country club. Bill, you ain't going to play golf right after practice in New England.
Right.
And I ain't talking about because of the weather, because Bill Belichick got something else for your ass to do. So I don't know I don't know who else is going to come and, do that. But I think that he has to find somebody, maybe some young stud out there or somebody that, may not get another head coaching opportunity. This probably be the best way to get one, but you're going to have to deal with some stuff and deal with the way that Coach Belichick does things, because he usually gets people that are up under him, and he's groomed them, so they know how to work. They know everything about how he does. So it's going to be a culture shock to anybody else who comes, but I think it's definitely something that they need. And at this point in his career, 24th season, he might, let's do something different. He ain't getting no younger either.
All right, Ty Law. The Twisted Question of the Week is brought to you by Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted, New England. Heading into the playoffs, give me your two teams that make it through here.
The AFC is tough, and I thought I'd never say this because, they're in our division, Wiggy. But Buffalo, I like it. I like what they're doing. I like everything that they're doing, for their fallen teammate. I'm glad he's okay. And I'm out there rooting for him. I'm semi-rooting for him myself. You know what I mean? Because they've been through a lot to actually see your brother go like that. So they're playing for something much more than the championship that's bigger than football. So I think they got that, going on their side. But Patrick Mahomes, he's balling. Joe Burrow is balling. AFC is a tough one to call. Any of those guys can go, but I got to ride with Buffalo.
Okay.
Mainly because, the whole, DeMar Hamlin thing, that was such an amazing story, and I'm glad he's doing well. But NFC, that was up for grabs. I like what the San Francisco is doing because I like their defense. Their quarterback, he's playing okay, especially, being a rookie in a late round guy. Was he Mr. Irrelevant guy?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was, yep.
That's what I'm saying. So he's making himself very relevant now. I like their defense. They got Deebo Samuel and the guys coming back. They had some injuries. Christian McCaffrey, I think, took them to the next level on offense. So I like to see San Francisco. I think San Francisco can come out of there. You can't sleep on Tom Brady because he's in the tournament. I just don't think everyone is around him. But Tom Brady has a way to will people to win. So you can't count him out, even though Tampa Bay, their team is not very good. But this is the playoffs now. This is Tom Brady. But I would say San Fran and it's hard over there. I'm going for Buffalo, just like I said, for other reasons, but it's a toss-up in the AFC.
Ty, as always, it's a pleasure, and we will talk to you throughout the playoffs every Ty Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm looking forward to it, guys.
All right. Talk to you again next week.
All
Thanks,
right,
Ty.
thanks, man. All right, Greg, Wiggy, Coco, later.